only attain much pleasure through it. This is just an iceberg.
Okay, thank you so much, Jazakallah. Okay, tell me what are the factors and reasons that drive Muslims, young, old, adults, sister, brothers, women, men, to seek porn in the first place when though it is clearly prohibited in Islam?
The same reasons that lead Muslims to drink alcohol, although they know it's haram. The same reason that lead Muslims to do all rubbish, not the same activities that they know for sure it's haram. So we have one factor, which is like, because we are Muslims, alhamdulillah, we have one factor, and that is shaitan, and we know that it's our enemy, and he will always drag us to that which is haram. That's why the Prophet ﷺ said, take shaitan as an enemy. So an enemy is not welcome. An enemy cannot, we cannot open doors for our enemies. Hey, come here, have some, fun. So an enemy has to be treated as such, has to be fought against, and we have to protect ourselves from such shaitan. So this one, the other one is the curiosity. The thing that always raises people's curiosity, they want to know what's new. They feel that they are left out. If somebody's talking about pornography and the other one never watched pornography, I guarantee you, deep inside them, they would be like, oh my God, I want to know what they're talking about. So because of the feeling of left out, you want to search it. And once you search it, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. So this is Ibrahim, my brother and sister are watching. If I am invited to stay away, I am not in any way or shape or form trying to give you hint how to watch porn. Please, this is one of the things that if you do today, I guarantee you that your children in the future will do it.
True. I agree.
I'm telling you, I have many people, my sister, I have many people, many clients who would say that my children fall into pornography because of us. So don't give a chance to yourself. So there are many factors that lead people, but one of them, the highest of them, is curiosity.
I totally agree on that point. Another question which comes to my mind is how and why does this addiction adversely affect a person's overall productivity, spiritually, socially, personally, professionally, and in every aspect of life? How does it affect? It's actually yes, please go on.
We talked earlier about how pornography could actually ruin one's brain, one's physical brain.
Yes.
So once you lose the power of focus, the power of memory, the power of decision making, and so on, then how will you become productive? Yeah, you talk to my clients, I talk to them, they say we can't focus. We start the task at hand, which is very important, and in less than 15-20 minutes, we are on pornography. They don't have that willpower to say, no, let me finish my task first. I have students who will be having the test the next day, and they will be up all night watching pornography and masturbating. So we know for sure that once you're on these filthy images, immediately you're taken out of that which is more important and essential, and things that add value to you in your life. On the other side, spiritually, as a Muslim, when you stand and say Allahu Akbar in your salah, the things that you get your eyes used to watch will come to you as flashbacks in your salah. These are the feedback that I get from my clients. I can't focus on my salah, brother. I see pornography and I say Allahu Akbar. How will we get back to shape, my dear sister? How will this ummah get back to shape? In the same manner how the Prophet ﷺ, introduced Islam to us. How can we get back to shape if our filth-minded mentality is full of dirty images? Pornography can impact people sexually. Males are now reported as young as 18 that they don't have the ability to have sexual intimacy with their wife, with their partners. They lost the ability to have an erection. This is a condition known as porn-induced erectile dysfunction. Women who the other hand, you're suffering from something called anorgasmia, meaning the inability to reach to that pleasurable climax during sexual activity. Why? Because again, the brain is conditioned. Most people, sexual pleasure is attainable through sleep. I can see in the chat box, with your permission, a brother is asking how to educate your growing children by means of conversation. I will have a workshop in my school for parents, and I will be sharing with them tips and tricks on how to educate your children by talking to them. That's why we titled this interview Breaking the Taboo.
Yes.
It is a taboo to talk about it. It's a taboo to talk to your children about pornography. It is a taboo to talk to your children about sex. It is a taboo to talk to your children about their private parts. It's a taboo, but is it necessary knowledge? Is it a necessary part of education? Wallahi, absolutely it is the absolute important time for us to address these issues because it's super prevalent.
True, very true.
The statistics that we have at hand is that 1 in 10 porn user under the age of 10. 1 in 10 porn user is under the age of 10. That's my child. That's your child, my brothers and sisters. So pornography is so prevalent. If pornography is so normalized, then why can't we normalize the conversation around porn education and porn harm? So this is the thing that can bring about good inshallah.
Jazakallah. That I totally agree with you, brother. And we need to break this taboo, and parents have to be more vigilant about these so that the children don't get into these horrifying disease. Ameen summa ameen. Okay. How can we stop being judgmental about people who face these issues and start treating this addiction as a real disease? People don't understand that this is a disease, basically. They judge a person. If someone comes to you and say, oh, I'm watching porns and I'm into this and this, and people start judging you, Allahu Akbar, you're a Muslim and you don't. We start judging a person. So how do we tell people that this is like a cancer is a disease, this is also a disease, and in this case needs to be treated, and they have to come into that. Yes.
So the same way that we have started this conversation by saying that education around this is very, very essential. So if the community started to get the right education around porn addiction and its harms and how can we treat people who are addicted to it, then we will develop that passion. Then we will develop that compassion for others. Then we will never look down upon them as perverted or dirty or this and that. We will just treat them, as you mentioned, as people who have been trapped, have been diseased, have been addicted. And addiction is a brain disease, as we mentioned. So when we understand that, then people will develop that compassion. And again, I'm inviting those who are watching us to invest in their lives, in the future, by joining the upcoming certification program that will be launched on 24th of October. If you can share that link, sister, with them. And please, I need as many as possible to join, because the more we have people well trained on how to deal with this issue, well trained on how to speak up and languages around the culture, then the better we and the faster we protect our children and the coming generation. So there is a question, sister, with your permission.
Yes.
Masturbation, the prefrontal cortex, any addictive behavior impact the prefrontal cortex?
Yes.
Any addictive behavior. And there is a difference between addiction and attachment. So addiction is always negative. Addiction is always negative. So addiction to behavior that is destructive, or addiction to substance that is deadly. All addictions are haram. All addictions are to be avoided. However, attachment can be negative, can be positive. So if you're attached to the Quran and you can't leave the Quran from your hand and you're reciting it day in and day out, that's not addiction, that's attachment in a positive sense. If you're attached to the masjid, going to the masjid again and again, and you can't miss a salah in the masjid, that's not addiction, that's attachment in the positive sense. So we have to differentiate. Masturbation is a very, very difficult topic to deal with at that very short time given. But as we mentioned, masturbation can lead to what is known as porn. It can lead to what is known as erectile dysfunction, because again, you will reach the point that your brain is sending a signal that this is the sexual pleasure. It's self-pleasure. But when you have your own wife, then the brain will not recognize that this is sexual pleasure. And as a result, your brain will not cooperate and your body will not function in that time. And this can be like a long-lasting disease. It can turn into a physical medical disease or whatever. So be careful. So yeah, anything that is negatively addictive can lead to the destruction of the prefrontal cortex. But by the way, also our brain is designed in a way that it can rewire itself and go back to its original state. So there is hope. But the only solution is to give up pornography and masturbation. That's the only way that you can reverse the situation in your favor. Even though the process may become a bit slow to reverse it into your favor, but it is doable. And I've met people in my career, alhamdulillah, my profession of helping people to get rid of the porn addiction. I've seen so many people, they have given up porn within 4 months. I have seen them giving up within 9 months. And when I say within 4 months, I mean that they have stayed 4 months completely out of pornography and never returned back to it after those 4 months. So 4 months they're relapsing up and down, up and down, up and down. And after those 4 months, they were able to break free for life up until this moment.
Alhamdulillah. Do we have any other questions? Do you want to take any questions? Then I'll ask another question.
So I believe that exposure to porn can rewire young people's brains and distort their views of sexual behavior. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That is destroying not only the health, the mental health of our youngsters, it is also destroying their understanding of how sexual intimacy should look like.
Yes.
So when you look at the porn industry, and 88% is showing violence against women by means of smacking, beating, slapping, pulling hairs, calling names, and all that. When you see these things and other filthy things that I don't want to describe, when young minds see these things happening regularly on pornography, then they would believe that this is the real sex. And when I get married, this is what I'm gonna do. This is how I'm gonna treat my wife. As a result, rape cases have increased as a result of pornography. The rape culture, and I heard now in the past couple of months, the rape cases that have increased in Pakistan is just beyond my belief.
Yes.
But I'm not at the same time, because I know that rape culture, the pornography contribute to rape culture. And I'm 100% firm that many of these cases are happening as a result under the influence of porn addiction. And no doubt that this is the truth.
I was just about to ask you this question, brother, because of pornography, the human trafficking, the women trafficking, and children trafficking. Lots of young children are kidnapped every second day. That is going higher as well, and all lead to pornography, basically, right?
And they use those people, human trafficking. They use those young girls to produce pornography.
Yes. That's really horrible.
And these are facts, sister. I wanna talk about something openly a little bit, inshallah ta'ala. How many of us have heard of the new film that Netflix have released recently called Cuties? How many of us have heard of it? The entire world have heard about the release of that movie. Cuties is a movie that will show 11-year-old girls posing and showing their body parts and acting sexual positions on camera. 11 years old. 11 years old. Child pornography has become normalized, and now it's on a national channel like Netflix, or on an international platform like Netflix, and despite the calls and the cries of over 2 or 3 million signatures sent to Netflix asking them to cancel that film, they cancel it, and they're going ahead and showing it. Where are those girls, little girls' parents? Where are the world? who are still subscribing to Netflix. Who is the bravest in Pakistan, those who are listening, who would one cancel that subscription and say no to Netflix anymore unless they cancel that film? 11 years old, they are minors. They're going to show, sorry for just being so frank. I read the entire review of the film. There is one girl who take off her shirt and everything from top to up to her cord will be shown on camera. There are two little girls who will act sexual positions and if they're lesbians because they were watching pornography of that nature in the film. There are 11 years old who will be watching on a cell phone in the toilet pornography and discussing the size of males' penises. And my brothers like this, my sister, my brothers, how could in the world any sane people allow minors to go and this is child pornography?
So, are you there, brother? Can you hear me? Brother Wael, are you there? Brother Wael, can you hear me?
This
Okay. Welcome back.
I can even
Okay.
now, sister, you dropped in with I think.
Yes, yes. This is the normal, internet connection.
That's
But
why
this is very sad, and that's the reason.
So I'm just
Go on.
I'm sending
We are dropping again and again. I'm sorry. This is what it is. Live, going live sometimes have these issues. Sorry about that. Can't help it. Brother Wael, can you hear me? Are you with us, Brother Wael?
sister,
Yes.
you're dropping a lot, so that's why I keep talking because
I know it is this internet problems. This is what it is.
So
Can't help it.
people are,
Okay.
yeah, Allah make it easy, inshallah. So this is just something in answering your question about someone talked about the media and how the advanced. Oh, sorry, my iPad was dropped. Some
It's all right.
people were talking about the media and the powerful media and so on. The media is also using their platforms to normalize and sexualize our children and
Very
to make
true,
it appear as
very
if this
true.
is the norm. And our
Yes.
children want that the thing is normal. And if the parents are watching this, and if the parents having Netflix, but they say, oh, we have Netflix, but we're not gonna watch that film. It's like you're having a pornographic film in your home, but you're not gonna watch it. Why do you have it then? Why do you have a tape or a USB or a file on your computer that you're not gonna watch it? Why do you give yourself this temptation zone that whenever you watch Netflix, you see the recommendation of cuties, a film that is promoting film, nothing but film. And anyone who's hearing me here and go and watch that movie is filthy. And I'm saying it openly and without any shame and without being apologetic. If you heard that name, that title, I mentioned the name of the movie because it made very popular through news media. That's why I'm using the title. If you take it from my mouth, my brothers and sisters, I will hold you accountable on the day of judgment if you go and watch that film. I will hold you accountable because I warned you. You have sisters, you have brothers younger than yourself, you have children, young children. If you allowed yourself as an adult to go and watch them, you need your children to normalize this culture. How many of you have read or watched 50 Shades of Stupid?
I totally agree, brother, and that's quite a hardcore thing you just mentioned. This is you're so right, and that's why we need to spread the awareness as much as we can, like fire, like disease, or like whatever. COVID-19 was nothing. I think this is something which is happening in every household, and we need to tackle this as soon as we can. And it's a big industry which is flourishing and just booming like something. Every day they're just expanding and expanding, which is terrible. This is something very horrible, and